on the Extras channel. And it looks like that's going. So if you go to lon.tv/extras, you'll see that. And you can see now it's showing me that I'm live here. What it's not showing me is... Okay, so it's giving me an indicator here of the connection status. Let me show you what I see on here. So I'll zoom in on the display a little bit so you can get a feel for what we're getting here. And I'm assuming it looks like it's coming through okay. Oops. So what I want to see, and I don't have it up on my screen right now, but maybe I'll give you a way of seeing this. What I would love to be able to show you is what it's delivering statistics-wise up to the mothership there. But you can see right now that it's bonding. So we're doing a 5 megabit connection, and you can see it's split evenly between wireless and wired. And this is coming in over 2 different connections. So one is going through my main 3 gig internet, and the other is going through the 1 gig leg. And that seems to be working from the standpoint of that. Now what's cool is that if I'll get to some questions here in a second. If I unplug, let me do this real quick. I'm going to unplug the Ethernet here. You watching? So we're just going to pull the cable right out. Now watch what happens to the wired connection. It's going to drop to nothing, but it's going to balance it out over to the wireless connection. At least it's supposed to. Yes, you see it's dropping out because it's like, wait, what happened? Where'd it go? It's been disconnected. And now the wireless is bearing the full amount. And what I'll do here is plug it back in, and I'll show you, and you'll see this on the live stream that we're doing on the Extras channel. If I plug this back in, you'll see now the wired will come back online in a second. And what's amazing about how this works, and I've done this with other live streams before, is that you don't lose the connection. So it's seamless, because what's happening is you're delivering this, I'm not sure what camera to look at anymore, you're delivering this video content up to their cloud, and then it's being distributed out. And that's why, to Prime's comment in my Extras channel chat, there's a couple of second delay because it's going to them first before it's going over to YouTube. So that's why you're seeing that delay there. And it looks like, yeah, we're only doing the Extras channel here. But it's funny, every time I log into this, they completely redo everything, so it always changes. But you can see now that we're evenly split here. Let me see what else I can do. So I go to stream quality. Oh, here, that's what I was looking for. So the other thing you get here, I'll have to take this somewhere else where I get a better signal. But what you got here is the bit rate of the video, and then you have the different connection types. So you can see it's always going to try to balance it out evenly between the wired and the wireless in this instance. Now, if I had a cell phone connected, which you can do, in fact, I think you can do it over USB. If I had a cell phone connected or a cellular modem connected, it would try to divide it 3 ways, and then it goes up and down. So the school that we have locally here, the high school, we did their high school graduation, and I had they have a video go there, and what we did is we connected it. So they have like a really funky setup there. So they have by the field where they do the graduation, they have a microwave connection that goes back to the school. So it's like in the middle of the field, they have this little shack, and there's a microwave transmitter. It's about 40 megabits both ways. So it shoots 40 megabits back to the school, and then it goes out their 1 gig fiber connection. And I was nervous about it because there's a lot of people around, and if something gets in the middle of the microwave, you suddenly lose the connection. So we had my phone as the second device. So I paired the video go, I think it's one that they have. I paired that with my phone and then plugged the Ethernet in from the microwave connection, and then it was balancing out between the two. And so we had a seamless broadcast with one of these things. And the difference here is that you get a much better idea as to what you're actually doing here, because you have the video image on a really high quality display. This is a 1080p display, by the way. But then you've got all of your statistics here. So I can monitor the stream quality, for example. I think it's also going to tell me, yep, that I'm going to my extras channel. And what I'm curious about, if I tap on it, yeah, I can't stop that. And if I hit that, it'll stop completely. And then if you go here, you've got your power connection. And it's got my account number, or account name. And you've got your audio levels too. So you really, I think it's just one of those peace of mind things, because this is the final output that it's getting, right? So you know exactly what's going out the door. But there's not much to it. It's pretty simple. Here, so you know what we'll do again is, I'll take some questions too in a minute. Oh wait, you're not seeing it on the extras channel, huh? So it should be public on the extras channel. Let me go over there real quick. Yeah, if you go to lon.tv/extras, you should see it. It looks like there's 6 of you have found it. I'll put it up on, I'll put it in the chat window on this stream. Thank you. Oh, Chris Allegretta beat me to it. Thank you. So now you'll hear me in stereo, right? There's going to be a bit of a delay. And this thing gets redone a million ways to Sunday on how this works. And unfortunately, Chris Allegretta did not get his notification. That seems to be par for the course these days with YouTube. Ed Horn is here. And Grant, yes, it's true. There's a lot of work that goes into this, because what I'm thinking about here for this review is how to. I'm thinking about how to demo this, because here's a product that to test it, we've got to do a bunch of different things. We've got to pull that cable out and see how the stream gets impacted by that, right? And that's just one of the things you've got to deal with there. And actually, what I will do, I'm just trying to think about how to best demo this, because if we go to, I'm just thinking about this. If I go to the stream, I think what I might do is show this on camera as I pull the cable out. And that way, if I don't break everything here, and that way, you can all see, all right, so here we go. So we are, all right, so let me try this way. So we are streaming right now through this cable, but we're also connected over wireless. So I'm going to pull out the Ethernet. And when I do that, we shouldn't see any interruption, because it is bonding the connection here. And if I go onto my device here, what will happen is I'm going to see that wired connection drop off and the load switch over to the wireless. And right now I'm completely wireless. And I pulled that cable out, but I'm still maintaining things because it does that redundancy through the share link. So you can see how that works. Then I'll plug it back in, and in a second or two it'll get caught back up to speed. And what's nice about this, especially if you're relying on multiple cellular connections, is that it will balance this all out for you in the background. And it really works well. I've used this out in the field, and it's good. And it's not that expensive. They charge you by the data rate, but if you're doing like 2.5 megabits per second, which I think is what we did for the graduation when we did it, it's not all that expensive to do a pretty good length broadcast. So it's definitely, I think, something for peace of mind. I do wish to some degree the price might be subsidized because of that connection to the service, but because the service is so inexpensive, I think it's probably why it is what it is. Now, what's interesting is that it has not redetected the wired connection yet, so it's completely relying on the Wi-Fi now. And it did pick it back up before. Oh, there it goes. So it does take it a second to come back into play. But now you'll see that it's balancing back out again here. And so you get that in the thing here. And then if we go over to stream quality, you'll see that wired part of the chart is going to pick up, and the wireless is going to come down to meet it. Pretty cool. All right. Elber B-Style wants to know, will it do 60 FPS? I believe it does. I'm pretty sure all of these do. So let me pull up the specs on it here. This is the Teradek Wave. And by the way, I can do one of my other fancy things here. So I have the Super Source. Oops, I don't have Super Source configured on here. That's why it didn't show up. I've got to play around with the settings on my ATEM. I have the ATEM Extreme here. So I figure it's good to like kind of demo how you might use this as a whole setup. So the video quality is up to 1080p 60. It will do H.264. I thought this did H.265, but apparently not. The other one did. Let me see what it has for video here. Video inputs, video processing. Yeah, just H.264. It'll go up to 15 megabits per second. 1080p is the maximum it supports. Now, it might be the Video Go actually supports HEVC, which is really useful when you're out in the field. And it's kind of neat, actually, look at the chart here, how it's had to figure out how to get everything settled back down. So it lost the wired. Is the wired off again? Let's see. No, it's back up. Okay. Yeah, it's kind of funny how it kind of gets... Oh, it's weird. It's like, yeah, the wired is like dropping off a little bit. See how it's like having a hard time finding the equilibrium again. So yeah, 1080p 60 is the max. It does not support HEVC. I think actually it might be the Video Go maybe does that. So one of these devices that they have has two different tiers of service, and that higher tier will accept HEVC video, but none of the streaming sites support it. So what happens is that it will re-encode the video on their cloud side and then distribute, and they charge you extra for that re-encoding. But if you're in a really bandwidth restricted area, you could get a little more quality pushed out with the HEVC format. Ed Horn just got the notification there. And what is this Elden Ring? Is that a movie? I'm like completely out of the loop here. Elden Ring. What is that? Oh, it's a game. The Elden Ring is an upcoming open world. Oh, it's based on the Lord of the Rings. See how out of the loop I am? Completely out of the loop. So I am guilty as charged. Completely guilty as charged. And there's a guy that does, yeah, that's a cool channel, especially when they have all those awful crosswinds there and stuff. It will not do HDR, so it's just 1080. And again, the use case for this is like I said, this goes beyond kind of consumer use. So the use case for this is you're doing a live stream out in the field, and you want the ability to do a bonded connection over low quality connections. So in one scenario you might have, so I would pair my cell phone up with this right now, but I get no signal down here. So in one scenario, actually, you know what? Let's try it. Let me grab my cable. We'll give it a shot. We'll plug my iPhone in and see if it can squeeze out a very weak signal. So the scenario is that you've got a phone on AT&T, a phone on Verizon, and you're out in the middle of a field somewhere. And so this screen gives you the ability to not only see what you're streaming, but also bond the connection. So I'm going to plug my iPhone in real quick. And I have like practically no signal down here. It's like a very weak 1 bar. And so I don't anticipate a lot of data getting pushed over this connection. And what I'm going to do, I can't change it in the middle of a stream. So why don't we